Gary family's soggy redemption. The Gary family wasn't exactly the most popular bunch on their quiet suburban street. Their house was, well, let's just say it was a work in progress. The roof leaked, the lawn looked like a swamp, and the smell coming from the backyard. Let's not even go there. Mr. Gary, a 58-year-old handyman who was more enthusiasm than skill, stood outside one afternoon holding a garden hose. He was trying to water the few patches of grass left, but instead he accidentally sprayed himself right in the face. "Gary!" shouted Miss Amy, their nosy 28-year-old neighbor. She leaned out her window, shaking her head. "You flooded the whole street last week. Can't you give the water thing a rest?" Inside the house, Mrs. Gary stirred a pot of mystery soup in the kitchen. She was 45, kind, and endlessly optimistic, even when her house seemed to be falling apart. "Don't worry, Tommy," she said to her 18-year-old son, who was furiously mopping up a puddle on the floor. "This is just a test. Things will get better," Tommy groaned. "If this is a test, I'm failing big time." Just then, Mr. Gary burst into the kitchen, soaked and grinning. "Good news, everyone! I fixed the roof." Mrs. Gary looked up just as water dripped from the ceiling into her soup. She sighed, clearly. The Town Hall Showdown. The Gary family's misadventures didn't just stay in their house. Oh no, their chaos spilled into the neighborhood, quite literally. So when they showed up at the town meeting, people weren't exactly thrilled. The mayor, Mr. Buddy, a 57-year-old bald man with a cheerful demeanor, cleared his throat as the Garys squished into the room. Literally, Mr. Gary's wet shoes squeaked with every step. Welcome, Gary family. Glad you could join us." Miss Amy jumped up, dramatic as ever. "Join us? Mayor, they need to fix their house before we all end up with mold." "Hey now," Mr. Gary said, holding up his hands. "We're working on it. I just need a little more duct tape." Mr. Phillip, a 57-year-old neighbor with gray hair and glasses, raised an eyebrow. "And maybe figure out where your chickens are escaping to. I found one in my garage." Tommy whispered under his breath, "That's where Chuckles went." A fresh start. Months passed, and one day the neighborhood woke up to a surprise. The Gary house, once an eyesore, was now the star of the street. The roof was fixed, the lawn was green, and even the smell was gone. Miss Amy blinked, rubbing her eyes. "Am I seeing this right?" Mr. Phillip sniffed the air. "No smell. It's a miracle." The Garys stood proudly on their newly painted porch. Mr. Gary waved to the neighbors. "Good morning, everyone. We've got big news. We won the lottery." The crowd gasped. Mrs. Gary added, "And we used it to fix the house and make it up to everyone. New gardens, septic covers, whatever you need." The neighbors cheered. Even Miss Amy wiped away a tear. "Well, I'll be," she said. "Maybe they're not so bad after all." The testimony. That Sunday at church, the Garys stood in front of the congregation to share their story. "It wasn't easy," Mr. Gary began. "We were the talk of the town, and not in a good way. But we kept the faith, and now our mess is a message." "Our tests are a testimony," Tommy chimed in with a grin. The crowd erupted in applause, and the Garys beamed. Outside, the neighbors gathered for a barbecue to celebrate. Chuckles the chicken made another great escape, but this time, no one was mad. They all laughed as Mr. Buddy chased the bird with an oversized net. In the end, the Gary family showed that sometimes life's biggest messes can turn into the best stories.